Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Andrea. It's nice to have you guys here. Today I'm going to do a bullet journal video. I haven't done one of those in a while, but I thought as it is April 30th when I'm filming this, I need to do my monthly layout, and it's also a Monday, so I need to do my new weekly layout. So I thought I would do a quick run through of what my weekly layouts have kind of looked like, and then do the monthly and weekly layout for this new week and this new month. I haven't really done a casual plan with my video before, I don't think. Usually I'm like walking you through my bullet journal. I've got my coffee iced, but I still like it in my pretty mugs. And let's get the camera turned around and show you what my weeks have been like. Okay, so for the last few weeks I've used a more simple format, kind of a one-page dashboard for the week with my lists and everything, and then a one-page breakdown of each day, just general boxes. I usually will do then appointments on one side and then tasks on the other side. Although if there's only one appointment for the day, then I'll do tasks for the whole block. But I've used a few other kind of formats. I've also done like this, where the dashboard is kind of just up at the very top, larger blocks for the days. Here's another, just kind of all open. And you can see I'm really sticking with just like a Tombow brush pen and then a regular pen. I'm not doing a whole lot of decorating. This was kind of the first week in a while that I had used any stickers, so keeping it simple. This is what I think I'm going to switch back to this week, so I will walk you through this later. This was a format that I really was kind of liking a lot and was using this for quite some time. I would usually do something, a two-page dashboard, and then something like this or like this for the week. So here's another one of the two-page dashboards, and then I had the days kind of in a column and broken down hour by hour, whereas this week it was just large spaces. But you can see I kind of used this format for quite a few weeks, going back and forth between either this style of weekly layout or this style of weekly layout. Things I like about both, I like how this one lets me really see my day in terms of how my day is filling up, whereas this one is more of a standard bullet journal with just appointments and tasks. Depending on what my days were like, that kind of decided what I was going to do. You can see it goes back to March. I didn't do a monthly for April, and I think I'm going to do something similar to this for May. So we'll see what I come up with. Let me get the camera repositioned so that I can start working on this week's. We'll do a quick monthly and then the weekly, and I will walk you through what all of this is about. Okay, so the main things that I've been using for as like my tools, I really love for like filling in my tasks, appointments, like actually using the bullet journal. I love the Papermate Inkjoys Gel 0.7. For designing the layout, I've got my Westcott 1" by 6" ruler. This just makes drawing in the boxes so much easier. I also use kind of 3 standard markers or pens. So I've got my Tombow brush pen. This is in shade or color 772, which I think is, they call this the blush pink. I also have Flesh, which is even more of a blush. And then I've got my, I think this one is like carnation pink, and then this was lilac, I think. So not sure what color we'll end up using. For drawing in the boxes themselves, I like using this, my Stabilo's 0.88 fine 0.7. And I've got a darker gray that I think is shade 96, 88/96, and then a light one that I like using for my vertical lines that is 88/94. So those are kind of the main pens that I use. And I keep them all in my little Ted Baker pen case so that that can travel with me on a day-to-day basis. So for May, we're gonna keep it really simple. One of the comments that I hear a lot from people about bullet journals is that they really would like to get into bullet journaling, but they hate their handwriting. I get a fair amount of compliments on my handwriting, which completely baffles me because I hate my handwriting. I think my handwriting is awful. And I'm sure there are some people who have just been too polite to say something who are now nodding at their screen saying, yeah, Andrea, your handwriting is complete crap. I don't disagree with that, but I've never let that stop me from doing my bullet journal because this has just been an absolute savior in how I get through the week. So I always also have my iPhone with me or my laptop so that I can pull up a calendar. So let's go up to May. I'm going to follow what I did back in March because I just hate spending a lot of time drawing out a beautiful monthly spread when I honestly barely use my monthly spreads. We're gonna do blocks and weeks. So I'm gonna give myself a few lines for each week. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since I'm so close to the top, I'm gonna come down one more line so that I've got a line between my heading and my first block. That's week 1. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I think I'm gonna stick with 6. I probably should have done 7 so that there's a line per day, but my weekends are really chill, so we're gonna do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not gonna draw a line there. I might just put some stickers down here. So that gives us 4 weeks, but there's technically 5-ish. So we'll draw a random line here. I definitely favor, like, I'm not about having everything be absolutely perfect in my bullet journal. I don't have time for that. This is going to be May 1st through 6th. May 7 through 13, I can't write 14. May 14 through 20. May 21 through 27. And May 28 through 29. Okay, so there's my weeks. Going to take some washi tape, just so that this bottom space doesn't feel like it's so much bigger than the other ones. I think this pretty floral one, and do that along the top. Again, just so that it kind of seems like the actual week spaces themselves are roughly the same size. We'll put this border down here as well. Then I always like to have kind of the same things when I do the bullet journal. So we're going to put my top 3 goals for the month, my task list for the month, and then under the top 3 goals, I'm going to put a space for next month. And then I like to have a space for monthly favorites. We'll put a small little space at the bottom for memories. I'm not expecting May to be that memorable, but you never know. We live in hope. So then I go and fill in these boxes. So top 3 goals, tasks, / we're gonna say brain dump, because my monthly task list is usually just a brain dump. And then as I go through each week, I look back at that list and decide what's actually important for this month. Next month, monthly faves. So anything that I'm loving throughout the month. I don't do monthly favorite videos anymore, but I am wanting to do kind of seasonal favorite videos. So usually there's a few things, and then once I feel like my list has gotten long enough to make a video, I make a video. And then memories. Okay, and that's kind of the month done. Let me now, again, going back to my calendar, go through and kind of start filling in the days. So now going into the new week, this is going to be kind of the bulk of the work. When I first started doing this format, I was following from a video that I'd seen on another channel. I will try to put the information on the screen as well as link the video down below. It's a productivity YouTuber, but he had this interesting concept of planning and tracking your time. And in the beginning I was drawing boxes and that was taking up way too much time. So what I switched to was, because my Tombow pens can fill up a whole line, now I'm able to do this much faster by simply using the marker. So I've got a bar at the top just to title what this is. This is my time tracker. And then I put in 10 lines. 10. It's not perfect. They definitely skew off to the side. They're not perfectly even, but they are roughly all the same amount of space. And then I've got my little notations at the top. So each of these blocks represents 4 hours. So all 10 equal 40 hours in the week. So this is how I visually am able to divide up my time. I'll come back to this in a second once I've filled in everything else, and then show you how we actually divide that up. For the week, I'm just going to put down up here that this is April 30th through May 6th. Then I'm going to do my top 3 goals for the week, my task list for the week. I've got a space for next week, things that are coming up. And then you can see on my old one, I had a space for work and tracking how many pages, how many words I was writing, or how many comments I'd address, and what my Pomodoro session is. And I really don't know what to do now because that's not how I'm working anymore. And since I've got this, I don't really need to track Pomodoros because this will tell me how many hours I'm spending on things. So I think for now, I'm just going to put a general notes section, and then that space will develop over the next few weeks, I'm sure. Next week, and then notes. And then over here, I haven't done my self-care chart in a while, and I'm kind of missing it. This I do kind of like to measure just so that I've got an even amount. Where's my other? And this is where I like using my lighter pen. So I'm making these 1/2-inch boxes, and I'm going to do 7 of them, 1 for every day of the week. And then that leaves me a little over 1 inch to put in what the actual task is. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I do my journaling for 5 minutes. I was walking, but now I'm going to say gym for 30 minutes. Skincare routine, because skincare is self-care. Read a novel. I'm trying to get back into reading. My steps each day, although I need a new battery for my Fitbit. Let's put in 15-minute tidy, as I need to start cleaning my apartment. So I think 15 minutes a day, I can make a bit of progress. And then I'm going to leave the last 3 ones blank. And if I feel like there's something that pops up, I will add it in. Okay, then for the time tracker. So how this works is I decide how much time I'm going to spend on stuff. So I really need job search to be my main focus. And this is also how much time I spend on my kind of 9-to-5 stuff. This does not include free time. So job search is going to kind of dominate this. We're going to put that for quite a few of these. I'm going to start working from the bottom. Then appointments and meetings take time, but I don't think they will take more than 4 hours. So I'm going to give them 1 line. I'm going to give planning 1 line. So planning, organizing, that sort of thing, I can spend up to 4 hours, which when you figure 30 minutes-ish a day gets as close to 4 hours. And obviously right now I'm spending quite a bit of time. So like I'm going to probably fill out to 1 hour that I'll have spent on planning the month and planning this week. So as you go through and do these things in each of these categories, once you've completed it, you fill in however you choose to fill it in, the amount of time that you've spent. So in the past, when I was drawing boxes, I was filling it in with the marker. Now I use the marker to just make my boxes really quick, and I fill it in using little hatch marks. That way I've got a visual representation of how much time. So by the end of the week, my goal, if I have 6 boxes, that's 24 hours. By the end of the week, I would hope to have 24 hours spent on job search stuff. So I think next week I'll give myself more boxes for this, but this week, since I'm kind of just getting into it and figuring things out, I'm going to leave it at 24, and I'm going to give myself actually slightly more. So we're going to make this last box job search / blogging, and then we're going to make this last open box blogging and YouTube. Writing blogs, brainstorming blogs, filming, editing, all of that stuff, because I need to kind of get that sorted out. So this kind of then tells me what my week is going to look like, what things are going, how things are going to be spent, that sort of thing. And I have found that when I was still working on my dissertation and trying to be productive, this was actually really, really helpful in keeping me accountable and keeping me productive. It was never something that I always filled in perfectly, as you can see. There were some times where I didn't spend all of that time, but it did let me see then, okay, if I had set aside 12 hours for my dissertation and I only spent 5 hours on it, the reason that I did that was because on the Thursday I submitted the full draft of the dissertation, so I was done with it. So sometimes I use it as an accountability, other times it's a goal. So I would like to spend that much time. So I definitely don't use this the same way that the gentleman that I got this idea from used it, but I've taken his idea and adapted it and made it work for me. Learning the rules, learning how a system is meant to be used, and practicing it that way, and then making note of where something isn't quite working for me, using it more as a guideline. I think because I have a chronic illness and my schedule kind of can sometimes go off the rails, it can be really difficult to keep myself to certain rigid schedules. But having this framework of like, okay, I would like to spend 24 hours this week on the job search. Watching these boxes get filled up can be really motivating. So now the last thing is to actually fill in the space for the week. Because the week is pretty light, I don't have a really intense schedule. I like this style when I have a lot of appointments, a lot of things to do. It just makes it easier to then see what my week looks like. But on a week like this, when I just have a few standing appointments, I like to have it be a bit more free. Also, while I'm at it, going to create a space in my bullet journal. Do YouTube ideas and blog ideas. Leave any ideas or requests in the comments below, and I will take a look at those. And then I've got my little rose gold bow paper clip that I like to use as my page marker so that when the book is closed, I can... These days it usually opens pretty much to where I need it to, but that helps me find my place and also separates the weekly dashboard from the weekly planner so I can kind of find that exact page. That's my bullet journal. You know, I'm definitely starting to, I used a few stickers, but I definitely am preferring a more simplified, streamlined bullet journal. I feel like as long as I've got a pen, one of my Tombow markers, and sometimes I don't even need the ruler. I'm good to go. When I look back at my first bullet journal, there are things that I love and things that I didn't love, and you can definitely see how much things have changed. Let me know if you would like a video on like the evolution of my bullet journals, because I could definitely do that. And if you have any questions about starting a bullet journal, please put those in the comments down below as well, and I could maybe do a bullet journal themed Q&A if you would like. I'm all about sharing the bullet journal love and helping people to get into bullet journaling and starting a bullet journal if they really want to but have just been hesitant to for whatever reason. I'm probably going to start a new bullet journal probably sometime this month, which is why I didn't want to do a really elaborate monthly spread, because I might be making the switch to a new bullet journal in the next few weeks. Anyway, this video's gotten long. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some ideas from it. Like I said, please leave any questions, comments, requests in the comments down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.